Hello and welcome. This is Columbia Basin Research's first video in a multi-part series on using Program Roster. Program Roster is a program created by Columbia Basin Research at the University of Washington School of Aquatic and Fishery Sciences. Program Roster models the life cycle of Pacific salmonids from the initiation of the juvenile migration as smolts to the end of the spawning migration as adults. This model jointly analyzes juvenile and adult pit tag data, including those transported as juveniles and returning as adults. Multiple performance measures useful in monitoring the juvenile and adult migrations and assessing recovery efforts are produced by the model, including estimates of juvenile in-river survival, ocean survival, adult in-river survival, transportation effects, for example, TI, D, SAR, and adult age composition. Because Roster is attempting to estimate so many parameters across years and space, the program requires a very large release size. This limits the usefulness to a very large release group or pooled releases occurring within a geographic area that result in common detection sites during the study period. Smaller release sizes will limit what can be estimated. In this first video, I'm going to show you how to download and install Program Roster, as well as how to load in your Program Roster data. Future videos in this series will demonstrate defining your model, setting up your parameters, and running your estimation routines, as well as various hints and tips on getting the most out of the program. Alright, so first we need to go to the Columbia Basin Research website. Go to cbr.washington.edu. There are various things you can do on our website, but for our purposes, you need to click on Tools and Models. That's where we keep our statistical software. If you click on the Tools and Models page, you'll see Parameter Estimation. And under that header, you can find Roster. Click on Roster. It can bring you to the Program Roster page at cbr.washington.edu/analysis/apps/roster. We always list our current version right here. If there are previous versions, you can find previous versions over here. You want the most current version, so click on that version here, currently 2.9.2. And then you can find the Roster 2.9.2 MSI file. It'll help you install it on your system. It's here under Distribution. You'll want to save that to wherever you save your files. Open the folder that it's in and double click on Roster 2.9.2 MSI. This window often comes up when you try to run Windows MSI or executable files these days. If you click on More Info, you can bypass it and just go to Install. Click on Run Anyway, and you go to the Setup Wizard, click Next. Decide where you'd like to keep the program, click Next, then Install. One last window may come up about making changes to your PC. This program will make no major changes to your PC, so just click Yes. And finally, Finish. There you can go to the search bar and type Roster. Roster should pop up, click it, and run the program. Here you can see Program Roster's splash page followed by the main window. The program interface has two tabs labeled Data and Estimation. The data set is loaded using the Data tab, and the Estimation tab is used to define the model file and run the estimation routine. The program interface is the primary view of the program. It is here that the data set is loaded, the model is configured, and the program status is displayed. The first step in running Roster is to load the data on the Data tab of the program interface. The Data tab has three sections: File, Description, and Preview. A message window appears at the base of the program interface. In the File section, the data file containing the capture histories is selected by clicking on the ... button and navigating to the data file, which should have a .ch file name. In the description section, certain parameters describing the capture histories are entered, including the number of juvenile sites in the capture histories, the number of adult sites, and the number of age classes for returning adults. Preview of the selected data file is provided to the right in the program interface as a quick reminder of the selected data file composition. When the Load button is clicked, the data will be loaded and two reports will be generated, available under the Reports menu. Data Summary Report contains basic statistics from the data set, and the Sufficient Statistics Report shows the statistics with a more technical presentation. These reports are described in more detail in a future video in this series. Another view of the program is the Schematic View, which gives a graphical display of the study environment and is available only when a dataset has been loaded. To show the Schematic View, use the View menu on the associated icon in the program toolbar. The Roster data file consists of rows of detection or capture histories, each row representing the detection history for one fish. Each detection history consists of a field separated by white space, where a field represents the observation record for the fish at a particular capture site. Detection histories may be generated from pit tag data available from the Pacific States Marine Fisheries Commission's Pitagus database using UW Pit Tag Processing Software PitPro. Fields in the detection histories are separated into two groups: juvenile detections and adult detections. A juvenile field in the detection history will have one of four values: 0, 1, 2, or 3, representing not detected, detected, and returned to river, detected and removed from migrating population, or detected and transported respectively. An adult detection history field consists of either 0, meaning not detected, or the letters big A, big B, little b, big C, big D, big E, or little e. The program is currently coded only to look for up to 5 years of adult returns. The letters indicate both detection and age class of the detected returning adult, with big A indicating the first age class, ocean 1 fish, big B the second age class, etc. Capital letters indicate that the adult was returned to the river after detection, and lowercase letters indicate known removal, for example, censoring of the adult upon detection. Any analysis of pit tag data should include recovery and mortality files, so when running PitPro to process roster data, the user must include these two types of Pitagus files. Without these extra files, PitPro will not be able to identify removed tags, and survival probabilities will not be adjusted for known removals. For more information on how to prepare Pitagus files for program roster, see PitPro at the following site, or watch our PitPro video series for more information. The number of juvenile sites, and adult age classes for the dataset must be entered in the appropriate boxes before loading the data. The message window at the bottom of the program interface indicates when the data file has finished loading. Now that you've gotten the program up and running and loaded in the data, the next video in this series will be on estimating your performance measures. This has been lesson 1 on using program roster, in which we covered downloading and installing program roster and loading in your data. Future videos in this series will define the model, set up your parameters, and run your estimation routines, as well as various hints and tips on getting the most out of the program. Please note that if for any reason you have trouble with program roster and these videos are not sufficient to answering your question, you can find the user manual at cbr.washington.edu/analysis/apps/roster. PDF manual is there, and you can either load that in a web browser, as I'm doing right now, or you can download it to view in Adobe. If you're using program roster and you have any questions or comments on that same page, you may also give us feedback via our user satisfaction survey. We would greatly appreciate any feedback you have in helping make future versions of this program to be more useful to our users. We hope that this video helps you get the most out of program roster. Again, if you have any questions or comments in regard to program roster, please fill out our survey as previously detailed. You can also contact Columbia Basin Research at web@cbr.washington.edu. Best of luck with your analyses, and thank you.